On Father's Day, my dad took my brother and his sons fishing. I discovered this from photos online. I called him and he said, "You're not part of this family the way they are." I asked what that meant and he said, "You're a disappointment. I don't tell people you're my son." My mom got on the line and said, "Why are you making problems again? Let them enjoy the day." I said, "Understood." I cut contact that night. Later, I made a decision that hit them hard. Now they're knocking at my door pleading, "Please talk to us, we need you." So this will probably get buried because I don't post much and it's long. But maybe someone will get it or just roast me, I don't care. Also, I'm typing this on my phone in my kitchen because I can't sleep. So if it's messy, that's why. Sunday was Father's Day and honestly, I didn't think much of it at first. My family isn't super tight-knit but also not the type that never talks. Usually there's some group chat spam, maybe a meme or my mom guilt-tripping everyone to call dad. This year, nothing, not a single text from my brother, my dad or even my mom. It felt weird but also not that weird. Sometimes they just get busy. I figured maybe they were doing something and I'd hear from them later. But then I'm just scrolling through stories on my phone like usual, and my cousin posts some blurry pic of a bunch of people on a dock holding up fish, all grinning. I didn't think much of it until I realized, wait, that's my dad and my brother and his two sons. In the background, I see my uncle and a couple of the other cousins. So, it's clearly a whole thing, not just a random fishing thing. My dad is right in the middle, looking like he just won the lottery, holding up this ugly catfish. They're at this lake we used to go to when we were kids. I zoom in and yeah, it's them, no doubt. So, I just scroll back through my texts like maybe I missed something but there's nothing, not even a "Hey, wanna come out?" or "Bring chips," nothing. I even checked the old group chat, it's just dead. Not going to lie, it stung but also, I was more confused than anything. Like, I haven't had any big fights with anyone lately, and I was literally at my parents' place last week helping my dad set up his new phone because he hates tech. He didn't say a word about this, just acted normal, even asked me if I could help him get his email working. It bugs me for a while. I send a text to my brother Caleb, just a, "Yo, you guys at the lake?" Like I'm fishing for info but trying not to sound salty. He leaves me on read. I try my dad, just call him straight up because I figure whatever, just get it over with. He picks up, doesn't even say hi, just sounds annoyed like I interrupted something important. I ask if they're having a good time. He acts like he doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I ask if they're at Lake Charlie, that's the spot. He goes quiet then says, "Yeah, we're out here. It's Father's Day, you know how it is." So I just ask straight up, "Why didn't anyone invite me?" And he gets this tone like he's tired of me, says it's just a thing for the real family, says, "I'm not part of it the way Caleb and his boys are." I actually laugh because I think he's joking but he's dead serious. I'm like, what does that even mean? And he goes, "You're a disappointment, Bruce. I don't tell people you're my son anymore." I just stare at the wall. I can hear people in the background like they're joking around, someone yelling about a fish. I ask if mom's there and he goes, "Yeah, she's here." And suddenly she's on the line. She's got her, "I'm so tired" voice like I just woke her up at 3 a.m. She tells me, "I'm always making problems. Why can't I just let them have their day, let them enjoy themselves? Stop trying to drag everyone down." I ask her if she really thinks I'm doing that and she just sighs and says, "Bruce, can you just let it be for once?" So I just say, "Okay, understood." And I hang up. I don't slam the phone down or anything because it's my phone, and I'm not an idiot, but I put it down so hard on the counter it makes my mug rattle. Then it just gets quiet. I try to go do something else but I can't. I go out back and just sit on the steps for a while. I don't even smoke, I quit last year, no relapse for this BS. I just keep thinking like, did I do something? Did I forget some major thing? But no, nothing. I always show up, help out, keep my head down. I'm not perfect but I'm not like a criminal or anything. I just don't fit their idea of what a real son is, I guess. I start remembering all the times this has happened but smaller, like my birthday last year. They just texted me, no dinner, nothing. When my car broke down, my dad said I should be more responsible. When Caleb's car broke down, Dad drove out in the rain to help, didn't even complain. I always kind of knew I was the odd one out but I thought it was just my own thing in my head. Turns out, nah, they see it too and they're just not hiding it anymore. I go back inside and my phone buzzes. I look and it's a text from my mom, "Just don't make this a thing, please." Not even a question. I don't answer. I go dark on them right there. I block the group chat, mute their numbers, delete my dad's contact. I take their pics off my phone, off my fridge. I don't even know why, it just feels like the thing to do. I sleep like trash that night, keeping replaying the call in my head, trying to figure out what I did. But after a while I just get angry like screw this. I'm not begging anyone to include me. You want a family with just the real ones? Fine, have fun. See how that works out when I'm not around to fix your messes, because here's the thing, I've been the one handling all their crap for years, bills, tech, even some of the financial stuff because my dad can't figure out online banking. They never thanked me for it, just acted like it was my job, I guess. I always hoped one day they'd notice or just treat me like everyone else, but nah. And honestly, I'm tired of acting like it doesn't bug me. I'm not going to try to win them over. So that was Sunday. Haven't heard a word since. I know they'll come running eventually because they always do when something breaks or someone needs money. But this time I don't think I care. Actually, scratch that, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Anyway, I don't know if anyone's ever had this happen or if I'm just ranting into the void. I feel weirdly calm about it now, but also just done. So yeah, Father's Day 2024, the year I found out I'm not even family apparently. I don't know what comes next, but I'm not going to just take it, not this time. I'll update if anything wild happens, but for now, I'm going to go eat the leftover pizza they didn't invite me for. Update 1. Alright, so here's the next round. I didn't think I'd be back so soon, but honestly, things escalated way faster than I expected. The energy some of you brought on my last post was wild, so I guess I'll just keep it as real as possible. I'm not going to drag this out with some deep life lessons or whatever. This is just what happened next. So after Father's Day I went like full ghost mode. I muted the group chat, blocked the main numbers, but I didn't block everybody because I wanted to see how long it would take before someone actually noticed I was gone. Turns out not long at all. Next morning I get one of those missed call notifications from my brother Caleb, which I ignore. Like 2 hours later my mom texts, "Just can you help with Dad's TV? He says it's not working again." Bro, I just got told I'm not family and now I'm supposed to play tech support? I just leave her on read. I guess that was my first little taste of revenge, but honestly it didn't feel like enough. By Tuesday the group chat starts buzzing again. I see the preview on my lock screen. I didn't leave, just muted because I wanted to watch them squirm a bit. Mostly it was my mom and Caleb. Mom's saying stuff like, "Don't ignore us, it's childish." Caleb's got the classic, "Bro, stop making things weird for everyone. You always do this." Real original, right? I keep not responding, which seems to annoy them more than if I just cursed them out. I go about my day, get groceries, vacuum my apartment, mess around online. Every few hours, another text. Nothing from my dad though, which is honestly not surprising. That dude will wait until everyone else does his dirty work and then act like he's the victim. Now here's where it gets kind of interesting. Some background. For the last few years I've been the one handling a lot of the family's boring stuff. Utilities, phone plans, even some of the account logins from my dad's side gig. He can barely use his own phone, so I set up all his business stuff online. I never got paid for it, never got a thank you, just got told to take care of it because I know computers. So, I realized if they want to cut me out, fine, they can figure out all that stuff on their own. So, I log into the shared account for the utilities first. I check the bills, all up to date. I pay them every month. They just send me some cash on Venmo sometimes, late, sometimes not at all. I remove my card, take my name off the authorized user list, and send a generic email to the service telling them to put the account in my dad's name. Then I do the same for the phone plans. I text my brother just, "You and Dad are responsible for your own lines now. I'm done." No smiley face, no drama. I wait a day, nothing. Then the calls start. Caleb, of course, is the first. He leaves this super passive-aggressive voicemail about how I'm making a big deal out of nothing and how Dad's too old for this stress. I don't answer. My mom's next, she's crying. I can hear it in her voice, but she's also mad, like saying I'm being unfair. I feel a little bad, but then I remember Sunday and it goes away. By Thursday my dad finally calls. He doesn't even say hi, just launches into how I'm being dramatic, how I always do this, how I'm hurting the family. I push back, tell him he made it clear I'm not family, so why should I do family chores? He tries to say he didn't mean it like that, but then immediately says I need to stop acting out and grow up. I tell him to put the accounts in his name or lose the services, then hang up. He calls back, I don't answer. While all this is happening, I'm getting texts from my aunt, dad's sister, and even one from my cousin, the one who posted the fishing pic, asking what happened. I just send screenshots of the text from my dad and mom, no explanation, just the facts. I'm not getting into a whole drama spiral with the extended family, but I also don't want them thinking I just flipped out for no reason. Friday is when stuff really starts to fall apart for them. My brother texts me in all caps, "Why is the internet off?" Dad is freaking out. I tell him to call the company, not my problem. He tries to call me, I send it to voicemail. My mom shows up at my apartment, knocks for like 5 minutes, and when I open the door she tries to just walk past me into the kitchen like always. I block her with my arm, tell her she can't just come in. She pushes past me anyway, goes straight to the fridge and then starts in on how I'm ruining everything. I ask her if she wants a drink. She slaps my hand away and says I'm not funny. She's not crying this time, just pissed. She says I'm acting like a stranger. I tell her she made me one. She slams the fridge door. I tell her to leave. She finally does, slamming the front door too. Now, I'm not saying it felt good, but it didn't feel bad either. I go back to my phone, scroll social media, see that my brother's wife is posting some passive-aggressive meme about some people only call when they need something. I kind of laugh because she's always acted like Caleb is some golden child and I'm just the spare. I get a DM from my cousin asking if I'm okay. Whatever, I just leave it on read. By Saturday, Dad's side gig account is getting flagged because he can't log in. I change the security info so he can't just reset the password. I get a call from an unknown number. It's my dad using someone else's phone. I guess his got shut off because the plan switched. He's yelling, saying I'm destroying everything he built. I tell him I'm not fixing anything. He can figure it out like a real dad. He hangs up. The thing is, my dad treats me this way because he always wanted a mini-him, someone who does the outdoor stuff, the sports, the fishing. I never really fit that. Caleb did, so Caleb gets the attention. I just get the chores, the boring stuff, the invisible work. I think he honestly believes I owe him for not being the son he wanted. I don't though, not anymore. The only time I feel weird is when my nephew texts me asking if I want to play online with him. He doesn't know what's going on, he's only like 10. I ignore it because I'm not getting dragged into that. Later, my brother texts me saying I'm a jerk for upsetting his kid, says I'm punishing the whole family for Dad's mistake. I don't answer, I'm not getting baited. So yeah, now it's Sunday again, 1 week since Father's Day, no utilities in their name, no phone, no account access. I hear from a neighbor my mom was at the store asking people if they know someone who can help her get her phone working. My dad's side gig is basically stalled. Caleb is posting less online, which is honestly the weirdest part of all this and the best part. I know they're all waiting for me to cave. They think if they just guilt trip me enough, I'll show up like always and fix everything. Not this time, I'm done. I know this isn't some wild ending, but honestly, it's only getting started. I've still got a few plays left, and next week's going to be even more interesting. I'll update again if things get messy. For now, I'm just eating chips and watching YouTube like a villain. Update 2. So, I guess this is part 3. Honestly, things got way messier than I thought they would. Like I said in the comments last time, I was done just being the family IT guy or whatever, and I'd already pulled my name off the bills and tech stuff. But I didn't realize how quick the fallout would get beyond just them texting me like angry toddlers. So first, weird thing, Wednesday night I'm heating up some frozen noodles and I hear banging on my door, like loud. I check the peephole and it's my brother Caleb. I don't even answer at first because I'm not trying to get into it, but he just keeps pounding. So I open the door a crack. He looks pissed, says I need to grow up and stop playing games with the family stuff. He tries to shove the door open with his shoulder. I hold it, tell him to chill. He gets this look, says I'm ruining everything for Dad and Mom. I tell him he can call customer support like everyone else and he snaps, pushes the door harder, almost gets inside. I shove him back, tell him to get off my porch. He calls me a loser and walks away, slapping the railing as he leaves. I lock the door and just stand there for a sec, listening to him stomp down the steps. I check my phone and see my mom's been calling too. She leaves a voicemail, her voice all shaky, telling me I'm making your father sick with stress, says Caleb can't get the utilities back on, and Dad's business is frozen. I get like 4 more texts from her in the next hour, all variations of, come talk to us, stop this, you're making it worse. And one angry one just, this is not what family does. I almost laugh, yeah, no kidding. Next day, I'm walking back from the store and I see my dad's car in the parking lot. I try to duck out but he catches me, calls my name. He looks tired, like he hasn't slept, and he just starts in on how I'm being selfish, how I know how much he relies on me and how I need to let this go. I tell him I let it go when he said I wasn't his son. He acts like he doesn't remember saying it, tries to say I twisted his words. I tell him he can't have it both ways, either I'm family or I'm not, and if I'm not doing the work. He gets red, says I'm holding the whole family hostage. I shrug, say maybe he should have thought about that before. He slams his car door so hard I hear it from halfway across the lot. By the weekend, I start getting messages from people I barely talk to, my aunt, my cousin, the one who posted the fishing pic, even my brother's wife Anita. Anita's message is just, what did you do? Caleb is losing it, your dad can't get into his bank, Mom's crying all the time. I reply, ask them. She sends back a wall of text about family being complicated and how I shouldn't turn this into a public disaster. I don't reply. Then there's the group chat. They all unmuted and start going off. Caleb says I'm being a baby and taking it out on everyone. My mom tries the guilt trip, says grandma is worried sick. Dad just says enough and tells me to come fix it. I post one message just, if I'm not family, don't ask me to do family work. Then I mute it again. So, the real fun starts on Sunday because apparently, my dad's side thing depends on him having access to certain digital stuff I set up for him. He can't invoice people. He can't get into the main account, and some client starts calling my phone because my number was the original contact. I tell them to call my dad, not my problem. Dad blows up my phone, leaves voicemails, one where he's so angry he's practically spitting, says I'm wrecking his reputation and destroying years of work. I just delete them. That night, my mom comes to my apartment again, bangs on the door, and when I open it, she tries to guilt me like, are you really going to let your father's business fall apart? I tell her, I'm not doing a thing until they start treating me like I matter, not just the family janitor. She says I'm being dramatic. I tell her to leave. She slaps my arm hard and storms out, slamming the door behind her. I lock it and just sit at my kitchen table eating cereal. The next morning, I see my brother's wife at the store, and she won't even look at me. I get a text from my cousin asking if I can just fix things for grandma's sake. I tell her I'm not in the family, remember? She doesn't answer. What's wild is how quick the whole thing snowballs. Dad's business is basically dead for the week. Caleb's credit card gets frozen because I took my name off the family account, and Mom is asking neighbors if they know anyone who can fix the Wi-Fi. I hear from a friend that my dad was complaining about me at the local pub, saying I'm ungrateful and spoiled. Meanwhile, I'm just chilling at home, cleaning my bathroom, watching YouTube and scrolling through memes. I start getting these weird messages from people I haven't talked to in years, like my Uncle Zane, who says family should be about forgiveness, not revenge. I just tell him to talk to my dad about that. The thing is, I know exactly why my dad's like this. He always wanted Caleb to be the golden boy, and since I wasn't into the same stuff, he just put me in the background. I was always the guy fixing things, never the guy invited out. And now that I'm gone, he's actually having to deal with all the stuff I did, and it's wrecking him. He's not dumb, he just never thought I'd walk away. I know some people are going to say I'm being harsh, but honestly, I'm just done letting them walk all over me. They want to treat me like an outsider, they can deal with life without me. The last thing I hear this weekend is Caleb leaving a voicemail at like midnight, says I'm breaking the family and if I don't fix it, don't bother coming back. I delete it, turn my phone off and just sit in the dark for a while. So yeah, I guess this is what happens when you push someone too far. I'm not sure what comes next, but I'm not backing down. They can keep slamming doors and leaving angry voicemails. I'm actually sleeping better than I have in months. I'll update if anything else wild happens. Might go get pizza. Final update. So, I guess this is the last update because there's not much more to say unless the house actually burns down or something. Not making predictions, just saying. Anyway, for everyone who said I should go no contact and let them stew, congrats, you got your wish. I didn't even have to do much, just kept my boundaries and let them handle their own mess. But they managed to make it a disaster all on their own. This week started weird. I woke up early Tuesday because someone was knocking. Not just regular knocking, but the kind where you know the person's mad or desperate. I ignored it at first, but then the doorbell started. I get up, see my brother's car parked crooked outside my place. I just stood in the hallway for a second, listening to him mutter outside. He finally left, slamming his car door. Not even an hour later, my phone blows up, 11 messages, all from Caleb. First it's just, pick up, then it's all caps. What did you do? She won't stop crying, just pick up. I stare at it thinking, who's she? Because I know his wife isn't the crying type. Then I see a missed call from my mom, a few from my dad, even my aunt. I just silenced my phone and made coffee. I'm not getting dragged into some morning drama. Few hours later, I go check my mail and who's waiting in my lobby but my mom. She's got her sunglasses on, which is her whole, I'm not crying mood. She asks me, are you really going to let this family fall apart? I say, I didn't start it. She says, your dad can't even look at your brother right now. Anita, my brother's wife, is saying she might take the kids and go stay with her sister, and grandma's calling every day asking what happened. I tell her, ask Dad. She says, you know he won't. Then she actually grabs my arm, like hard, and I tell her to let go. She just lets go and stands in the hall, blocking the door, saying, if I just come over and help them for one day, she'll make sure Dad apologizes. I tell her, there's nothing you can give me I want. She says, you're being so cold, Bruce, this isn't you. I shrug, say, Maybe you don't really know me. She shakes her head and walks out, slamming the lobby door. Not even 5 minutes later, my brother starts calling again. Now he's leaving these voicemails, his voice cracking, saying, "You ruined everything. Dad says he's not talking to anyone till you fix the business. Anita is packing bags. The kids are crying." I just sit there, scrolling through my feed. I get a message from my cousin just, "Is everything okay?" I don't even reply. I guess the thing that really got to them is that I didn't cave like I figured after a few days of silent treatment, they'd just move on and figure it out. But no, they're completely falling apart. I guess they always thought if they pushed me hard enough, I'd just give in and fix everything. And now that I'm not, they literally don't know what to do. So, by Thursday I'm getting texts from people I barely talk to. My Uncle Zane left me a voicemail about how I should think about the bigger picture and forgive for Grandma's sake. My aunt calls and says, "Your dad's business is going to go under, and nobody can get into any of the accounts." I tell her the same thing I told everyone else, not my problem. That night, my brother actually comes back, pounding on my door again. I open it a crack, he tries to push past me and I shove him back. He says, "You're going to destroy this family." And I tell him, if it was that easy to destroy, maybe it wasn't strong in the first place. He tries to say I'm being dramatic. I tell him, I'm just done being the backup plan. He throws his hands up, says, "Fine, do what you want," and storms off. Friday morning my mom texts me, says, "Your father is sick, he's not eating. You're torturing him." I just leave it on read. I spend the day cleaning up my apartment, watching dumb videos, just doing normal stuff. And the whole time I keep thinking about how wild it is that for years I was the one making sure the bills got paid, the accounts were set up, the business could run, and nobody cared. Nobody even noticed, honestly. But the second I stop, the whole thing falls apart and suddenly I'm the villain. Like they could have learned how to do this stuff, but they never bothered. They just assumed I'd always be there. I get a DM from Anita, my brother's wife, Saturday night. She says, "I don't care what happened, the kids are scared. Caleb won't talk to anyone and your dad just sits in the living room staring at nothing." I don't reply. Yesterday I ran into my dad at the store. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, barely even looked at me, tried to mumble something, then just shook his head and kept walking. So that's where we're at. My phone's still full of unread messages, most of them just, "Please talk to us, we need you." My brother sent 11 texts in a row, all over the place, angry and begging at the same time. Grandma even called and left a message saying, "I don't know what's going on, but I hope you come home soon." I don't call her back. I know some people will say I should feel bad, but honestly I don't, not right now. I spent too many years being the family ghost, cleaning up messes nobody saw. I'm not going back just because they're scared of their own mess. They made their choice, I'm just giving them exactly what they wanted. So yeah, I guess this is the point where I stop updating because honestly I don't even care what happens next. I'm just going to live my life, eat my chips, and let them figure out how to be a family without me.